everybody. Welcome back to another night of Even Strength. So welcome in, everybody. I'm sure you noticed there was a little bit of a difference to our intro. That's because I'm joined by, he's not my co-host, he's my partner channel, the natural, Samwelb. How are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic, and I hope you're doing well. And I have to say, before we even start, EC3, Earth Citizen, man, thank you so much. Kicking off the new look, the new style, kicking it off with the super chat. Thank you, my good friend. And BearShark, I am so good. I was holding on. That intro was wild. It was off the charts. We are taking hockey to a whole new level, and this really shows. And for everybody in all of the 18,000 chats that are going on, you know, BearShark and I, we've partnered up. We've been doing a great job, and this is the first of the new era of our two channels coming together. Dual stream, multi-streaming, trio streaming. Man, I'm so pumped to be here tonight. This is the first of lots of good stuff to come. So welcome, everybody.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. And I'm just going to say, Brian Watsko Pico trains in the house. Earth Citizens here. NotMyCircus. E&B. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to get it to everyone. Steve, how are you doing? Welcome in to you as well. Mr. Beast Channel, welcome in and thank you for subscribing. Earth Citizen. Hello, Dallas Hockey Girl. What's happening, Dean? Welcome in, everybody. We're going to be catching up to you guys as we get rolling. We're going to explain a little bit. You guys know that we partnered up together. We are now dual streaming together so that Sam's people can come in and do his thing on his channel. The folks who normally watch on either FPN Sports or the network can come in as well. So speaking of which, you guys might notice we're on 3 streams tonight. Tonight, I'm going to take my hat off as we say goodbye to the FPEN Sports channel. Anyway, the reason for it is we're going to condense everything down. The network is where everything is going to function for Florida Park Explorers. That has nothing to do with parks. The parks will continue to stream on our parent channel, FPE or Florida Park Explorers. Everything else that you hear about FPE will be on the network from now on. So if you tune in next Saturday to FPN Sports, I got a surprise for you. We won't be there. So with that, basically, it's really simple, everybody. Every Saturday night when you tune in, Sam's going to be on one side. I'm going to be on the other. We got the flag up above us. We got red, white, and blue. We got maple syrup on the other side. We're good to go. And with that, before we roll into hockey, everybody, because we know why you're here. You're hockey people. I got to tell you, you guys see it sitting up on the screen. 5-day cruise over on Florida Park Explorers. We're doing a giveaway. It was for our 3,000 subscriber. Well, guess what? We hit 3,350 last night. So we're way over. If you want to win a free cruise that includes airfare and a hotel, airfare and a hotel and a 5-day cruise, go over to Florida Park Explorers. Thumbnail looks exactly like what's sitting up on the screen right now. Follow everything that you're supposed to do. Listen, watch the videos. There's 2 videos you got to watch, one on my channel, one on Cloud9 Getaways, who is our sponsor, by the way, of the cruise, Cloud9 Getaway. Let's make sure that we put up Chris's information, because if not, Chris will get mad at me and say, hey, what about me? That's our sponsor right there. Please make sure if you go over and you need anything from Disney to cruising to sports, travel, does not matter what it is, Chris Hiscox will take care of it for you. Make sure that you let him know FPE sent you guys. We're giving away a cruise. We're doing it on July 14th. I would probably throw my hat in the ring. Just saying, you want a cruise, you want it paid for, do your part. So anyway, on to bigger and better things. The Samwelb12 Experience is in the house. The natural. He is streaming from parts unknown. He is in witness relocation after the cup was handed out. They knew he was going to steal it, so they put him away. We haven't done this in a couple of days, huh?
Yeah, it's been a little bit. And, you know, what do they say when hockey's over and you miss it, you go out and find it. And so we had to come to the hometown of one Matt Duchene and kind of try. No sightings as of yet. No sightings as of yet. But Yeah, we're up here. We're having fun. We're getting things ready. There's so much in the news lately. We're going to talk about momentarily, but we got lots going on in the league. We got the draft just around the corner. Free agency followed up.
Wow,
Drafts? Did someone say drafts?
I didn't know there were.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. And of course, the big thing for those that are into the World Juniors, they just dropped the schedule a couple nights ago. So the schedule is out. We got a couple games already scheduled for middle of August. That's going to be a blast. So lots to talk about, and I can't wait to jump right in.
Matt, Carl, hello, welcome in. Theo, Sam, Eagle, Mr. Beast, thank you for liking, subscribe. We appreciate it. So, first of all, I didn't know there were giraffes in hockey. Second of all, did you hear? Did you know the Rangers are not in Cup contention next year? Because I heard about it today.
No,
you didn't hear what we did you?
No, I heard there's lots going on in the little New York locker room. What's going on? What came out today?
Surf Bum, what's happening? So we decided the third round was good enough. We don't need a cup. We don't want the cup. We basically decided today, it was fun while it lasted. We're done. We decided that we would let unrestricted free agents. Let's see. You may know these names: Strome, Kopp,
Yes.
Vetrano. Yes. We're going to let them all hit the free agency market.
I did not hear about Vetrano. I heard about Strome. I heard about Cobb, but not Vetrano.
So
wow.
we're going to let 3 forwards go hit the open market and think we're going to be contenders next year. We're going to bring in a crybaby whiner from who would not play hockey this year with us. We're going to give him an opportunity other than throw him to the Wolves, which is what I would have done. And so basically, I just want to let you know, you have a very good shot because I've been paying attention to your news. You guys look like, hey, you're adults. You're gonna function like them. The Rangers, on the other hand, we're going to start over again.
There's a lot of news coming out of Leafland. As always, they're tied to about every single free agent in one way or another. Forget about 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We're about 182 degrees of free agent hockey players. It's crazy. The latest coming out is their ties potentially Mackenzie Blackwood coming over. It's just wild. But yeah, disappointing news. They've given teams permission to speak with Ilya Mikheyev to try and get something done. So that essentially tells me they're not going to sign him unless they're trying to see what other teams are going to potentially offer him. So we can come and give him some kind of a fair deal. Yeah. But that's the fun part this time of year. You never know what's going to happen.
No, and I mean, like to kind of jump right in. I mean, I'm sitting over on. Let me pull this up because then everybody can see the insanity that I'm seeing. Let's switch screens. Let's do a little bit of.
Well, while you're pulling that up, before we go into free agency, I just want to give a huge congratulations. And I don't know if you had this on your list, so if you do, I apologize for stealing them. But a huge congratulations to the induction class of 2022. If you haven't heard, they've come out with the names going into the Hall of Fame this year, 2022. Some guy, Roberto Luongo, you may have heard of him.
Nope.
We got Daniel Alfredsson, decent hockey player. And the twins, Daniel and Henrik, both going in. I think that one is a little bit controversial, if you will. Some saying one deserves it, the other is kind of riding on the coattails a little bit. You can't put in one without the other. And then 2 others, Herb Carnegie and Rika Cellini, both going in as well. So nice little class. But of course, Alfredsson, Luongo, and the Sedins, the big news there.
Any of them you feel like they should be there?
No, I mean, Luongo definitely should be there. I think Luongo, he had such an amazing career. Although,
I love the guy.
I was just about to say, I don't think he really got to those like elite goaltender levels, but he was always somebody that his name was being thrown around. Listen, he played Vancouver, Florida, never really was a superstar, but he carried the teams. They weren't great teams when he was there. Probably made him look better than he is. But I really like the Daniel Alfredsson pick. For me, I was a huge Ottawa Senators fan.
With that one.
Yeah, I was a Sens fan back when you weren't allowed to be a Leaf and a Sens fan together. Road Warriors, what's going on? But I'm a huge Daniel Alfredsson fan. I'm so happy to see him going in. So that's a big one for me. I don't know if I'm in on the Sedins.
I'm not. I'll just go ahead and throw my hat in the ring and say, why? Okay, because two brothers came up at the same time, then that would mean all three Stahl brothers should go in.
Or all 85 suitors and setters.
Or, the Kachucks when they're done. Like, it's not just because you raise 2 or 3 kids that can play the game. That I don't think that's the way it works. You have to do something that leaves an impact on the league, in my opinion. In order to go in, you have to do something. So, and don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm a Luongo hater. It's just, was that like the best of what we could put out? Like, there's not other players. I'm pretty sure there are. So, I'm not sure that it's like, hey, we got to pick off of this list. There's whoever they want to bring in. So I guess my question shouldn't have been it should have been formatted this way. Aren't there better players out there that were more deserving to go in this class than what we're seeing?
Yeah, no, for sure there are. Even, if you look down the line at non-first ballot Hall of Famers, there's a lot of guys out there that should be in and probably got passed over for one reason or another. So you're right. There's probably.
Did you see EMB? EMB sat there and said, "Did they not get my ballot?" No, they didn't. They didn't get my ballot. They should be listening to us. I mean, look, I think Evenstrength should get a ballot. So this way, Sam and I could sit here, debate it. We'll get our ballot in. NHL, if you're not listening to us, soon you will be.
There you go. So just wanted to throw that out there. Wanted to give congratulations to everyone going in the hall. Whether you deserve it or not, you're going in, and that's a big deal.
It is a big deal for everybody. Look, let's start off with not being haters and say, you know what? You know how hard it is to become a National League hockey player. It is very, very difficult. It's not starting off when you're 15. I'm sorry, but you didn't learn how to skate when you were 15 and go into the Hockey Hall of Fame, or let alone get on the ice. You started with double blade skates, you moved up, and then you do things like what Sam did. You get the PVC pipes, you get out on the ice, you put a cage on the kid's head. I watched that video today, by the way. And you teach your kids how to skate, and then you get up at 4:00 in the morning and take them to hockey practice. So there's a lot that goes into it. Plus, there's tens of thousands of dollars worth of gear. There's time, there's commitment, there's offense, defense camps. These guys go through a lot. So to get on the ice is almost like winning an award in and of itself. But to be nominated, that's why I feel like you need to be an elite player in order to go in. But congratulations to the inductees. As long as Ryan Reeves never goes, I'm good with it.
For sure. And, talking about Ottawa, making the Ottawa connection, and we talk about the youngsters playing the game. The NHL, we know, we've talked about it before, not overly thrilled about them going over to Europe and doing the preseason games. But they did announce that the Leafs and the Senators, they're going to play a preseason game in Belleville, Ontario. Belleville is probably about, half an hour or so away from Kingston. Kingston probably, Belleville, Kingston is that middle ground between Toronto and Ottawa. So it'll be nice to get a game out there and give those folks a chance, because there's no way they're coming in driving 2 hours or whatever to come to Toronto.
I thought you were asking me how far it was. I was going to be like, really? You're like, the Canadian flag's over your head, dude. Like, pretty sure you live there, but just saying, because you're like, what is it? It's about, and I'm like, oh no, he's coming to me. I'm like, no, don't do that. I don't know.
Yeah, of all the things
where Youngblood was.
Of all the ways I like to stump you, asking you how far Belleville is from Kingston is not one of them.
What? I'm like, ask me where Thunder Bay is and what movie made it famous. The answer, bam, Youngblood.
Yeah. The only Kingston is the home of Kingston Penitentiary. It was a very famous penitentiary. It is also the home of the K-Rock Center, a little venue that was built a couple years ago, which is placed on a street called Tragically Hip Way. So big Canadian roots there, hip ties to Kingston, and they have a street there, Tragically Hip Way.
I thought you were going to tell me they were playing a preseason game in Jamaica. I was like, that'd be pretty cool too. You're like Kingston. I'm like, sweet, let's go.
That would be cool. Here's something that's kind of funny on the lighter side, because I got to stop talking about Kingston and Belleville. Somebody posted this picture on the gram, and it's captioned "The significance of getting out of an abusive relationship." Okay.
Oh, no.
When I put this picture up, I'm gonna just in case it doesn't come out closely. Where's my camera? I gotta find this. There it is. So you can see bunch of Maple Leafs at the top. So we have Lanny McDonald as a Maple Leaf. Lanny McDonald hoisting the Stanley Cup as a Calgary Flame. Phil Kessel as a Maple Leaf. Phil Kessel hoisting the cup as a Pittsburgh Penguin. Tyler Bozak, same scenario. And of course, Nazem Kadri, the last one to get out of the relationship with the Toronto Maple Leafs, hoisting the cup. So I'll just leave that there again for a minute. For all of us Leaf fans to
you got to pick on them for that. However, Steve Montreal Steve, obviously a huge Avs fan. As soon as they won the cup, all the messages started coming in. NHL's first 4-time loser, 4 times been traded to a team, never wins the cup, goes to Tampa, loses the cup, goes to every cup contender and loses. And that's all I saw on Instagram the next day was, about, and for the life of me, why can't I think of who it was? It was Perry? No, it was Maroon.
Corey Perry.
Yeah, it was Perry. So it was
Corey
Perry. And they're sitting there and they're going, he's on 4 different teams, 4 losses in a row. And I'm like, you know what? Bet you he's a Ranger next year.
Yeah. And Ian B, that's a great point. I was just about to bring it up. BearShark, I don't know if you saw this. Nazem Kadri, he scored that overtime winning goal and Tampa was freaking out about too many men on the ice. Well, Sportsnet posted this. Here's Nazem Kadri went and had, these T-shirts made, too many men. And this is what he wore during the parade.
I think it's great. Celebrate. I think it's great.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
The good part is look, we all have sense of humors about it. It's really, really funny to see, look, at the end of the day, you find out, because Bernie, by the way, what's up, Bernie? And Josh G. Hey, everybody for coming in. One of the things Bernie did, all of a sudden he starts, I get 18 YouTube notifications, and I look down. Bernie dropped in 5,000 stats about who was hurt, and you find out. And Bernie, I know you're gonna correct me because I absolutely read them, but I went to bed at 7 o'clock this morning and got up at 10. So everybody cut me a little slack.
Is this the Tampa list?
It was who I don't remember who it was, but they had to have a trainer help put on his skate because he had a broken foot.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And how about Cirelli? Remember when we talked during the intermission and I said it looked like he separated his shoulder? He did.
Yeah.
They put it back in.
Yeah.
He was playing with 2 separated shoulders.
What was his name? It's going to drive me nuts. I believe it was number 13. He was my all-star of that series.
It wasn't
Natushkin. It was Natushkin.
Natushkin.
He needed a trainer to help him put on his skate, and they actually showed a picture of his foot. It was nasty. It was black and blue. Yeah. It was absolutely brutal. Blair, what's going on? So here's the list of Tampa Bay, because I pulled this up, courtesy of our good friends over at Sportsnet. Not that they know who I am, but that's okay. Hey, Sportsnet. So here's the list of the Tampa Bay Lightning injuries, and I'm convinced they put out this graphic as an excuse. So here we go. Bellemare, who I thought played really well. From the beginning of the playoffs, he had a meniscus injury, and he played all the way through it. Then we have Cirelli, who you mentioned. He had a shoulder AC joint sprain versus the Rangers, and then he dislocated the other shoulder versus Colorado. Kucherov was playing with an MCL sprain that he suffered versus Colorado. And when we were doing the games, we had called it out. We're like, what's wrong with Kucherov? Why is he not skating? What is wrong with him? Well, he sprained his MCL.
Yeah.
Pretty good reason. Nick Paul, and I want to talk about Nick Paul again in a moment, but he had a shoulder AC joint sprain versus the Rangers and an MCL sprain versus Colorado. So that guy's hurting up top and down low. But he was still the heart and soul of that team through that final game. Corey Perry had a shoulder AC joint sprain versus the Rangers. So here's what was really going on with Braden Point. We were asked so many times, when's Point coming back? Where's Point gone? Braden Point had, you ready for this? A significant quad tear versus Toronto. So he tore his quad. The fact that he actually came back and played a game with a torn quad, first of all, what's wrong with you? It's a torn quad. And second of all, kudos to you for even trying. Man, that if you've ever, I mean, I've never torn my quad, but I watched a lot of wrestling. And you saw Vince McMahon slide into the ring and knocked out both his quads. He couldn't even stand up. Triple H in the middle of a match tore his quad. He was down. It took him a while to get up. He finished the match, but tearing a quad is no joke whatsoever.
No, and I mean, I had to, and by the way, we're not talking about an athletic body here. I tore literally my Achilles tendon at the heel, and it didn't tear loose. It was a minor tear, but you're talking a 5-week injury for me, and that's with me doing nothing. Like, can you imagine trying to go back and play a hockey game with it? I mean, it is literally insane. Morgan, what's happening? Jonathan, what's up?
And then, of course, the last one on the list, Ryan McDonough, mangled finger from a block versus the New York Rangers. So you hear all these injuries, and then you say, oh, a baseball player went out with a hangnail? Just
Look,
saying.
I laugh at turf toe in football, and like I've been laughing at it for years. But when you hear some of the injuries and you put this whole thing in perspective, first of all, you hear 3 AC joint injuries. Now, let me go ahead and tell you, I had mine taken surgically out. Okay, like when it's so damaged and mangled, they will take it out, and it is the part that I can only show it over here so I can see it, but it is on your collarbone. It attaches to the top part of the socket, and it's a piece that's about this big, and that's your AC joint. I had mine removed, and I'm going to tell you right now, it is a horrible, horrible injury. You can't pick your arm up over your head anymore. As a matter of fact, I can't pick my arm up over my head anymore. So there's, to hear 3 different guys, and what really cracks me up is they all got hurt playing the Rangers. And it was like, okay, like, I guess we were more physical than I gave us credit for. But, at the end of the day, these guys, they played very hard. They played hurt. But you listen to some of the other injuries that came out from around the league, and you had, I think it was Strome he tore his core muscles. Dude, can you imagine tearing your core muscles? And he came back and played. Like,
that's like, you can't even sit up at a bed at that point.
No. And it was like, so you start hearing these injuries that are coming out, and it's like, okay, well, maybe we should look at the fact that, I understand hockey is a very physical sport. I get this. But I went back and, because Bernie had put in a stat at one point about the Ranger team had played something like, I think it was 35 games or something, or 40 games, and it was every other day. So that's 40 games in 80 days. Dude, that's nuts. I'm sorry. That's crazy. Your body.
That is a lot of hockey.
So, it was really, like Road Warrior just put in, Rangers were physical, but playing back to back. That's the thing is you can't be that physical 100% of the time. And it's just crazy to see how the injuries played out. Would it have made a difference? I just don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I talk about Nick Paul and what he went through. And I talked about Nick Paul being kind of the heart and soul of Tampa Bay in that last series. Well, Tampa did something smart. They actually signed him to a 7-year contract, 7 years. Wow. For an average of $3.15 million, which good for him. He's so deserving. I'm kind of mad because I would love to see him end up on a different team because I've just grown to dislike Tampa so much. Care what's going on.
You and me both.
But Nick Paul, I'm so happy. 7-year deal. That's great for him. He well deserved.
And that's actually the point, though, right? It's like when you play as a heart and soul player and you do what you're supposed to do, you get rewarded with these. Now, there conversely is another side to it, right? Look at the Rangers right now, because like obviously I'm living in Rangerstown trying to figure out what in the world we're going to do because we're trying to blow our team up. And you look at someone like Panarin. Panarin's deal it was unobtainable when we signed it. I screamed and shouted when we brought him in. Now we're hamstringed to him. Nobody wants him, not for what we paid him, although there was a bidding war at the time because he was one of the most desirable. These big, like they got a good deal on him though. 7 years, $22.05 million. It's a great contract. So it's a great signing by the GM to pull the trigger the right way. But when you look at Antemi Panarin, who's sitting here, I'm not even sure what his salary is. I think it's like $80 billion a day. It's outrageous what he's getting paid, and we can't get rid of him. I would be okay with somebody saying, "Hey, you guys want him, or we want to take him off your hands," but I'm not willing to retain 50% of his contract. So I don't know. I mean, this is a great signing, though. Their GM has always been known for doing great signings, whether it was Yzerman or I don't remember who's in their back office right now, but Tampa's been really good at doing this.
Yeah. And, on the flip side, great for him. Not good news for Ryan McDonagh and his mangled finger. Elliot Friedman reporting that Tampa Lightning have approached Ryan McDonagh about places he'd be open for a trade. So it looks like they're trying to pack him up and ship him off. So not good news there for McD, fellow Ranger.
I got to be honest with you. He's a good defenseman. What they need to be talking about is what kind of money is he looking for? Because I'd like to see him come home. Former captain of the Rangers. Love to see him come back. He's a heck of a defenseman. We've got some young D that need to come up, and we have some really bad D that need to go. So I would be open to him making a return. I was also open prior to Callahan retiring, Callahan making a return. Thankfully, he didn't because his back couldn't handle it. But, those are the type of things that, like what we're talking about. I would love to see him wind up with us. He's going to wind up playing for some team I can't stand. And I'm just going to hate him.
Of course. And, when you talk about your Rangers, you talked about Cobb and Strome going to the market. Did you hear that's reported that Julien Gauthier and Georgiev have requested trades?
So the funny part about it is Gauthier just got signed to a 1-year extension. So we get him under contract. And my opinion is it's for trade. If you don't have the rights to the guy, it's hard to trade, and the way that it works. Now, Georgiev has been bitching like a little girl for a while. So, I'm not surprised to see it. He requested a trade halfway through the season. He wants more playtime. He knows that he's not going to get it with Shesterkin in net, which I think is short-sighted because Shesterkin is prone to groin injuries. So I think it's a stupid move because we're also setting ourselves up for a cup run. But he thinks he's a starting goaltender. I disagree. He's a .500 goaltender at best. And that's with a decent defense in front of him. If he goes to a team that has a moderate to a bad defense, he's going to get pulled more often than not. And he's going to wind up sitting on the bench and probably become a number 2 forever. So Georgiev is very short-sighted. He's not a Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot did the same thing with the Rangers when he was sitting behind Lundqvist. He thought he was a number 1. He went and he played. He's done that. But let's be honest, even Talbot's battled.
Yep. And, talking about some of these free agents and what's out there, I don't know if you heard this. We talked about Chris Letang a few weeks back, and will he, won't he, what's going to happen with him and Malkin? According to an insider, they're all insiders at this point, right. Letang and Pittsburgh have made significant progress on a new deal, and money could be around $7 or $8 million bucks. So that's good news if you're a Pittsburgh fan and Letang. The question will be, if they lose Malkin and, make some other changes, will he be that dominant defenseman he once was? I think he kind of faded a little bit. $7 or $8 million for Letang, it's a little high.
I think it's outrageous. Kind of money. Let me just go ahead and say this because I was rolling through the article because I was looking for one thing that I can't seem to find. Now it says Malkin completed an 8-year, $76 million contract. He signed in June of 2013. That's the same year that Letang signed an 8-year contract, $7.25 million per year, $58 million contract in 2013. What I was trying to find, honestly, was how old he is. He's not 35 year the 35-year-old. Okay, so he's 35. You're going to tell me that this guy's worth $7 to $8 million when his last contract was for 7.25? I'm sorry, but usually what happens in this world, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've been around the sport a day or two, your salary goes down when you hit 35. You don't typically stay the same. So you would think if he wanted to stay with the team, he would have done something along the lines of go to $5 million. He's not going to be an elite player without certain things. Besides the fact Crosby's older, Malkin's older. These are older dudes. The team's getting older. They're going to have to start bringing some fresh young blood at some point. And before we go any further, you got to thank Blair for bringing up the Coyotes. It wouldn't be an even strength night if we weren't making fun of the Coyotes.
That's so true. Blair, I think at this point, if the Coyotes wanted to keep Phil Kessel, they'd have to offer him ownership rights. Although, no, probably not, because then he'd be very deeply in debt. So,
and he'd have to stay there forever.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I think this is one of the first episodes. I actually don't have a news story surrounding the Coyotes.
We just got one.
Blair, thank you. Thank you for raising that up.
I mean, but all seriousness, it's like, could you imagine you're Phil Kessel and they're like, what's it take to keep you? And it's like chaining me to the floor. Like, there's nothing else that's keeping me. But when you talk about Letang, I mean, seriously, do you think this guy's worth between $7 and $8 million? He's a $5 million defenseman. 35 years old.
I agree.
No way.
In and around that market, $5 million is probably where it is. Maybe $6 million if you really had to wheel and deal to keep him, but that would be a stretch. $8 million.
He just came off an 8-year contract at $7.25. He's not worth it. I'm sorry. He's a good defenseman. Don't get me wrong. But again, a lot of times what happens, and you know this, you're on the right line with the right people and you have chemistry and you go to another team. What happens? You go from 50 goals a year to 10. Why? Because the people around you were supporting cast and you were just played better with them. Letang.
I have a great defenseman. On my team that Toronto went out and got because he was superb, and he came over and TJ Brody, and he just couldn't cut it. I mean, he was still good, but he wasn't what he was in Calgary when he was playing with Giordano.
Yeah. And that's kind of the point is look at Panarin. Panarin was supposed to be, we went out and spent $80 million a year on this guy. Don't get me wrong, he produced to a degree, but look at Mika Zibanejad. He outshined him. Chris Kreider outshined him. Here's supposed to be this amazing guy. You're supposed to put anybody with him and he's supposed to succeed. That's just not what happened. And, a lot of times I think that gets overlooked when folks like you and me are talking about it. It's always just about the money and the cap, but it has to be about that supporting cast because without them, they're just not there. So Parallel Wisdom said, Letang is actually better than he was 2 years ago. He was hurt 2 years ago. Basically, I think that he's going to be more injury prone. He's still, look, you can make any argument you want as a Penguins fan. You're never going to convince me someone who just came off an 8-year contract at 7.75 is worth, or 7.25 is worth the same money. You're just never going to do it.
And Pittsburgh's in an interesting period in their franchise right now where if Malkin leaves, Crosby, how many more years is he going to play? Do they really want to invest heavily in Letang and eat up all that cap room? They're probably not going to make a big playoff run next year. So it's going to be very interesting times for Pittsburgh.
Parlo, I wasn't saying that you're a Pens fan. What I'm saying is, I've heard the argument from Pens fans that because you're not the first person to say to me that well, he was playing better, as of late. That may be true. He's healed up a little bit. He was out for a while, and he has gotten healthy. And look, I'm not saying he's not a good defenseman. I'm just saying I'm arguing value of dollar. Do I think that he's worth $7.25 million at 35 years old? The answer is no. I think he's worth $2 million less than that. I think a 2.5 contract is where he should be. Now, again, I'm some guy sitting on a YouTube channel hanging out with one of my buddies talking about hockey. I'm not a GM playing for a team because I would be making more money. And by the way, Jen, just go ahead and do it.
I love Kerker's comment, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. Or was it Crosby makes Tim Hortons commercials because he needs more money?
There you go.
I love that. I love that. Mr. Ducky, what's going on? Welcome in. No worries. So here's one talking about Arizona. This has nothing to do with Arizona, but somebody who's probably over the next 3 years going to make more money than Arizona will over the course of 3 years. Vancouver has signed Brock Besser to a 3-year, almost $20 million contract extension. So average cap hit is $6.65 million. It's going to get 19.95 over the 3 years. So good again for Besser. And yeah, that's probably more money than Arizona's going to make.
You know, it was funny because the only news that I could find while I was sitting here looking was apparently they reached out to Wile E. Coyote to see whether or not he would be interested in coming in. And even he said no. So go figure.
He said, after I catch Roadrunner, I'll think about it.
He said maybe at that point. He goes, but don't hold your breath. He's like, you know, I have to get all my equipment from the Acme company.
Yeah. We had a couple coach signings. Rick Bowness, new head coach of the Winnipeg Jets. So that one is in the books as well. Jim Montgomery named head coach of the Boston Bruins. That one's in the books. We talked previously. Do I still have it here? Yeah. Tortorella signs in Philadelphia. So that one is in the books. And then, of course, we talked about the new Florida head coach, who the name totally escapes me now, even though he's Paul Maurice, one of my favorite coaches. So lots of coach signings. I'm sure we'll see a lot more to come. Now, there was a really, really bizarre story, and I only saw this kind of scrolling through some other feeds. Let me make sure it was kind of a two-parter. So let me make sure I get this correct here. And I don't know, you probably won't find this anywhere else other than right here. So Philadelphia Flyers have a goalie prospect, Ivan Fedotov. Yes, so he's been detained by the Russian government for draft evasion and is being forced to enlist in the Russian army. Now, Fedotov was a 2015 Flyers 7th-round pick. He's coming off a stellar season for the CSKA Moscow in the KHL, where he helped the team win the Gagarin Cup. He also won the award for the best goalie in the KHL. So pretty amazing, right? Now, this happens from time to time. I've heard other stories of players who are hiding out, trying not to get drafted. They want to come over to the NHL and play. So they said in late April, he announced he was leaving Moscow to sign his entry-level contract with Philadelphia. And since it's run by the Russian Defense Ministry, he was already technically considered enlisted and was accused of illegally terminating his contract because he hadn't served in the army. So really bizarre story there. Then it takes an even stranger twist. So apparently today it came out saying that per the Russian media, the goalie prospect Ivan Fedotov, who was detained by the Russian government for evading military service, fell ill during his detainment at the military enlistment office, had to be taken away via ambulance. Now, Fedotov's lawyer came out and said, at this moment, we can't exactly say how things are. He was in hospital. At least he was not listed as, but for some reason he wasn't listed like other patients normally are, nor were his parents allowed to see him. And then they had military police entering the hospital. Then it gets even stranger. It says he doesn't feel very well. He says he was given some kind of injections, does not know what it was told, and it wasn't prescribed by a doctor. He doesn't look good. There was another reporter that said he complained of stomach pains and a potential poisoning when he was in the military office, which then took him to the institution. So what a bizarre story. First, it starts with, draft evasion, being taken into custody, all the way down to now accusing them of potentially poisoning him to keep him there. absolutely insane. You're
Now,
right, Jonathan. Good point. How much of this is true? How much of this is not true? We'll never know. But it was so bizarre, and it was one of those things you don't often hear. So I had to bring it up and mention it because it was hockey related.
if you didn't bring it up, I was going to, because I read the story this morning and I sat there and I went, this is nuts. And I was like, okay. And then, I mean, it ties in with, was it last year Panarin had to take an 8-week leave of absence because all the, the things going on over there. And it really is an amazing thing. But to hear the fact that, he's accused of desertion, draft dodging, all this other stuff, and now detained, it was like, and then the story progressed. And, like you said, they don't have to tell him what they put in him. They don't have to tell him anything. And it was kind of an amazing story. So I'm glad you brought it up, because if you didn't, I was going to. We glanced over the coaching things pretty quickly, but there are a couple of things that, and Bernie brought up something I've got to say, because it's an amazing stat, which is San Jose fired Bob Bouger. I can't see that far. Never mind. And they're the only team without a head coach and a GM at the current time. I'm actually trying to read chat off my phone, because my other chat died. So don't tell anybody. But that's an amazing thing to not have a head coach or a GM going. You have nothing going on. It's basically the owners of the team going, now what are we going to do? Detroit finally picked a direction. What do you think of Boston signing? I'm very curious of your thoughts on the Boston coach.
So Boston is going to be such a weird situation next year.
Thank you.
They could have signed Big Bird as their coach.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to matter. Listen, Boston's going to be a great experience for a bunch of young kids for a better half of the season. They're going to be able to develop some talent. They're going to hope they just don't end up in 32nd place. So again, it's a good signing, but I don't really expect anything from Boston.
So can you imagine being in, like that coaching candidacy? Like you sit down and they're like, "Hey, just don't make us look bad." I think that's had to be how it was. Now, if you're David Quinn and you're a Boston hometown guy and your family's still there and you lost out to this guy, you got to really feel like you're an idiot. Like you really have to sit there and go, ugh, because you look at the way this went. Trotz winds up; he's going to wind up in the front office of Nashville next year. You got Torts winds up in Philadelphia, which, by the way, if he wasn't made for that job, nobody was. Like, he is such a good fit for that horrible team. I am so happy he's there. And by the way, they're probably going to be an extraordinarily physical team next year. That's the way he plays. So then you wind up with Detroit's signing. I think is a really good one. They wind up going into Tampa's assistant coach, pull him in. I think it's a good signing. I mean, there's been some really good things that I think that there's some really good things that you're going to see come out of this right now.
Yeah. It's one of the things you talk about, going and pulling an assistant coach. Some of those things I love to see when you have guys that have been an assistant coach forever with the team. They just can't get to that head coaching spot. And then finally somebody comes knocking, they give them a shot. And you don't often see that Cinderella story, but when you start to see them successful, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And that's the thing is like they've been a successful team. So for them to finally be able to turn that around a little bit, I think that's kind of a cool thing. I like to see when you're not in someone's shadow. I mean, we're going to get to see that on the Islanders this year as well. So you start to get to that place where it's kind of like, all right, so we'll see how it kind of will shake out a little bit. But
yeah, Blair, you and me both. I mean, we've, as a Leaf fan, we've had the curse of the Bruins since they came back and beat us in Game 7 of the playoffs. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing Boston have a not great season.
I'm a Ranger fan. I'm ecstatic, and I hate. And let me just say this right now: if you've watched the show or watched any of my hockey live streams, I hate Brad Marchand. Hate him. Like, the fact that he's out the first part of the year just means we can't hit him. We have to wait a few more months. I cannot stand him. He's so bad for the game of hockey. It's not even funny. I cannot stand him. So the fact that Boston's going to have a bad year this year, I'm ecstatic. It's one team in my division I don't have to worry about. Although if we keep doing what we're doing, I'm not going to have to worry about the Rangers either.
Yeah. And Bernie, yeah, it's good point. David Krejci working out, trying to make a comeback. Also, I just saw Nino Niederreiter going to be available in the market. So, lots shaping up that will help make things really interesting in the off season.
Jonathan,
Now,
I was just going to respond to Jonathan and say the only way the Rangers and the Leafs are in the final next year is if you guys decide that you want to be as bad as us, and then we'll compete for who's going to be in last place. But if the Rangers keep doing what they're doing, we're not making it to the finals next year. We may not even make it to the playoffs. It's going to be if we don't start turning it around, it'll be a disaster. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I wanted to go through before we get to the youngsters and the upcoming draft. I wanted to just kind of go rapid fire through here because there have been a lot of transactions.
Yes.
Just wanted to go through here really, really quick. Kevin Fila, contract extended in LA. I'm only going to pick kind of certain names out here. Craig Anderson, contract extended in Buffalo. That's really good for him. We scroll down here. Darren Radish had his contract extended in Tampa. Bjorkvist signed with a European team, so he's leaving Pittsburgh. Maxime, he signed with the European team, so he's leaving the Panthers. Timothy Liljegren, contract extended in Toronto. That's a nice kind of pick. He was doing really, really well. Brisebois, contract extended in Vancouver. So, yeah, just a few kind of key names along the way that have been picked up. If I go back a little bit further, it's not going to let me go back further. That's okay. Anyways, just wanted to kind of rapid fire a couple of those names to shout them out.
The NHL Trade Tracker had a couple of them, which we've got up on the screen at the moment. It's Oliver. Obviously, you said the trade with Fila, Dadonov traded by Canadians or to the Canadians from the Knights. So I mean, there's gonna then you get Ben Bishop, by the way, going to the Stars. So you got Sabres acquire Ben Bishop. That's got to be pretty big for them. That I would say they've been hurting in net. So I think that's an upgrade for them. So I think that'll make.
Yeah, I think Buffalo's going to be a really solid team next year. We've talked about this a lot. I'm a huge Tage Thompson fan, and I think Buffalo's just slowly been putting the right pieces together, and I think they're going to be an amazing team next. Well, I shouldn't say amazing, but they're going to be a really good team next year. They're going to be fun to watch.
There's definitely something to it because, Ben Bishop was someone that frankly, when you and I were talking about some of the other trades and potentials, never even came up. We just never had that conversation. And then one of the other things under Trade Tracker was Rust agreeing to a 6-year contract with the Penguins. So I mean, Penguins trying to keep some of their, some of that team together, obviously. So you got a bunch of things where you got teams that are trying to hold on. And as much as I can respect that, and I like what I see, Ben Bishop was just never on my radar. I don't know why, but I never even considered him to go for anything. Like in all the goalie conversations we had, you and I never uttered those words. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah, never. So why don't we switch gears a little bit? Let's talk about some of the kids. And as we do that, big congratulations to the St. John Sea Dogs, your 2022 Memorial Cup champs, and they won it at home ice. So the Sea Dogs getting it done. So that's huge. I love minor hockey, watching a lot of these kids come up and make a splash. It's pretty exciting.
The only thing that I need from you in this is I need you to translate so that this way I know what they're talking about. I can obviously read the one on the left. I'm totally kidding. Anyway, so on to some of the draft.
I can't wait for draft day. I'm going to break out all my Francais and it is going to be spectacular.
I know a little bit of French. I took French class for 1 year. And I had someone who was originally born in France, and you were not allowed, like day 3 in her class, if you didn't say compromiso, there was no, you could sit there with your hand up for an hour. She didn't care. Like, you had to say it. And, obviously growing up in the North, it was one of those where we didn't have air conditioning in school. So if you wanted to open the window, you better learn how to say, open the window. And it was like, so it's amazing that 40 years later, 35 years later, the only things I remember how to say are like, my name and open and close the window and open and close the door.
That's better than me. My French is horrible. I'm not going to lie.
Mine's really bad, and we'll go round for round on bad pronunciations, but we'll have some fun. Go. So for those of you, Dave speaks take 2. For those of you who don't know, we will be covering the draft. It's going to be fluid. Sam and I were talking about it the other day as to how we were going to go about it. We're obviously going to kick off. What's it at 7:00? Yeah, it's 7:00.
7:00.
So we're going to kick off at 7. Do a little pregame while they're talking and get our stuff together. And we're going to take you guys through it. We hope that everybody will join us and we'll have some fun with this. Yes, it's going to be live, but they're not going to have the commentary we're going to have. Couldn't even say that with a straight face. And we're trying to get some people to stop by. We're going to bring in some guests. We're going to talk some trash, have some fun, and talk about, look, Sam and I were talking about it the other day. Number 1, 2, and 3, those are the people who have the potential of playing next year. The rest of them, we're going to kind of have a, hey, when do you think they're going to play and in what league kind of guessing game. So other than that, take it away, Sam.
Sure. So some interesting stuff. The top 3, Montreal, New Jersey, Arizona, they're there. The top 3 guys we're really looking at is, Shane Wright. Shane Wright, has kind of been leading the way. He was number 1 in the Central Scouting at the midterm rank, number 1 Central Scouting when it comes to the final rank. So he's probably going to go number 1. But you have this guy here who's number 1 in the European skaters, and I'm not sure exact pronunciation, Jarj Slavowski. He is sitting up there, and he very easily could steal that number 1 pick. But what's really interesting, so we have, Montreal, and Montreal has come out. They said at this point, they are not sure, and they're going to take every second that they have to decide to really think this through. Now, when you look at it, Shane Wright, he's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. He plays center, plays in Kingston of the OHL. When you talk of Slavowski, he's 6'4", 229 left winger, playing out of Finland. So he definitely has the size there. So what does Montreal need? They probably don't need another center. The left winger might be a better fit for them. And you know that New Jersey is just sitting in the wings waiting. Now, the big thing with New Jersey is they're rumored to be talking to a lot of teams right now.
Oh, yeah, they are.
So could they be looking to flip that number 2? Maybe move down a few picks? Maybe there's somebody they have their eye on, a defenseman, perhaps, that could be waiting in the wings. So we'll have to see what they do. But then in number 3, you have Arizona there as well. And let's not count out Logan Cooley. Now, Logan Cooley, he's also a center, a little bit smaller at about 5'10", 180 pounds. Logan Cooley, man, his ratings have gone through the roof. He's been solid, ranked 2nd all the way through for North American skaters. Arizona, again, talking to a whole lot of teams about a whole lot of things. The big thing for Arizona is they need help everywhere. So
that's why I'm sitting here laughing. Pick? Because you're sitting here and look, the elephant in the room is Arizona or the coyote in the room. And what's funny is I left this sitting up here for a second because it says 2022 NHL Draft Central Division needs. And the tagline is Coyotes seeking offensive talent. Like, really? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know that I'm being petty and kind of childish because, look, I can't believe they have a team. But to sit there and say that they're looking for offensive talent would be the equivalent of, like, Where is Captain Obvious when you need him? Like, I almost just want to put my mug up, my knee up, and sit there and go, really? Yeah, I mean,
They're also searching for a stadium where they can put their own logo at center ice.
I mean, right? It's like, like looking for rights to put NASCAR patches on jersey to make money. I mean, I don't know. I digress.
That's the thing. Do they flip this number 3 pick to, drop down in the draft, but pick up a bunch of other draft picks or a bunch of other, a solid defenseman, a solid forward, and some picks? It'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen with both the Devils and the Coyotes.
I'm that for another reason. There are teams out there, New York Rangers, that don't have a number 1 draft pick. Okay, we've traded everything away to try and get to where we are today. And the question that always remains to me is, we did a very good job during the rebuild for 7 years. We have a lot of extra AHL talent ready to go. We just can't bring everybody up. So the question is do you have a prospect or potentially a player that you could trade for a number 1? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they have room because their team sucks. So they're a dumpster fire. I mean, a number 3 draft pick to them really doesn't help them. I mean, they need some in order to put AIS or, asses in seats. They're going to have to start to bring something in. Phil Kessel, I mean, that was why it was fun to just have that conversation before. But if you don't do something, you've lost the fan base. So it's laughable to hear them at a number 3 pick and for them to even be discussing trying to bring somebody in. They're better off trying to trade that number 3 to a team like a Calgary, a Rangers, a Devil, somebody who actually Devils are a bad pick. Toronto, to somebody who's trying to make that final piece, that move, if you will, to try and bring in the possibility of a starter. I'm just saying, that's an opinion from, usually the third person is the last, in my opinion, the last person that has the potential of playing next year.
Yeah, I agree. And they're kind of another name on this list that I'm really curious to see. They're not going to be in the top. They're kind of ranked, around 5th overall by Central Scouting, is Connor Geekie. Connor Geekie is a 6'4", 190-pound defenseman out of Winnipeg. It'll be really interesting to see where he ends up going because he's one of those names that kind of has my eye. He's a little bit lower down, but could potentially come in and have some solid impact because of his size.
Well, Bernie also just dropped in a really interesting stat, as he always does. Seattle with 7 second-round draft picks in the holster for the next 2 years. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. That's a lot of buying power. That's a lot of trading power. It's like the wimpy version of how you eat a hamburger. I gladly pay you Tuesday for a second-round draft pick today. The Kraken aren't gonna crack the top of the league in the next year and a half. What could they do with 7 second-round draft picks? How do you get into the first round? Give away 3 second-rounders. I don't know.
Well, and it's interesting because they're sitting 4th right on the pick board. So if one of these top 3 goes kind of off the board, with kind of Shane Wright, Slafkovsky, or Cooley, if there's another name that kind of creeps in the top 3, and there's some like Simon Nemec, defenseman, if one of these teams wants to go with a defenseman or David Jurczyk, one of those goes in there, and all of a sudden you have a Logan Cooley who drops down to that 4th position. It'll be interesting because they have a real good shot at picking up, a big time, a player that's going to make some impact. And with all of those second-round picks, now they could start, making it rain with draft picks, pulling some trades out, beefing up their forwards a little bit. Because let's be honest, they were not overly competitive this past year. Yeah. They had a great-looking logo, and that was about it. They can absolutely make some noise.
Mods, if you'll go ahead and hip check that comment. And, and the other side of it is you got a ton of cap space, like Bernie's saying. Like, you got a ton of cap space. You got a ton of draft picks. They didn't do much. Their logo is awesome. I love the fan base. I love what they do. I love the fact that we have more dead animals getting thrown on the ice. Like, I love the fact, we have squids in Detroit. We got fish in Seattle. Like, this is awesome. Like, I just want to know where they're hiding the fish when they bring them in. I know what Detroit fans do, but like,
yeah, Morgan, welcome in, bud. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, it's going to be so interesting. I cannot wait for this draft. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Because here's the best part. I'm sure, as most of you have realized, Sam is literally sitting in, because we're doing two different things. I'm producing the show, and he is like our statistician with Bernie, and everybody else is sitting here, and he's going through screen by screen. And I'll just sit here and make wise ass comments. That's what I'm good at. But the draft is going to be no exception. We're going to sit here and have a blast. So if you want to hear our takes on what's going on and idiot things like what we're talking about, definitely tune in. Sam will give you all the stats that you want to know. You can ask all the questions in the world. And I'll just sit here and go, really? Really? That's what they came up with? And we'll sit there and make fun of it. It'll be a great time.
Yep. And not only that, but I fully plan on rating these prospects on the suits they're wearing at the draft. Because that's going to tell a lot. If their tie is done up real tight, if it's a little loose, how they're, who they hug first. Do they go to mom? Do they go to dad? We're going to be looking at all of these things. Do they bypass the parents and go to the girlfriend? We'll have to see. Lots of drama that could come up in the stands. So it's just going to be a blast.
Bernie, your comments are there. So, and you're not wrong. I like to watch the first round of the draft pick for exactly what you just said. Because let's be honest, it's all hyperbole. I mean, after the first three, we're talking about 2 to 3 years. But I love to watch, how do they react? What team do they go to? Because there's not a kid out there. I don't care what sport you're in. You have a favorite team. You have a hometown hero. You have a whatever. And if you get picked by a team you don't like, I love watching that. There's nothing better than watching the look on his face like, damn, I got picked by him. Whoever gets picked by the Coyotes, it's like getting picked by the Detroit Lions in like the 80s. You're going to sit there and be like, oh, man.
So let me ask you this, and folks in the chat, give me your opinions as well. Now imagine, we're going to set the scene. You're a first-round draft pick. You're hoping to be. You're sitting in the stands. Your name gets called. You're excited. You do the hugs, the kisses. You make your way down. You get on stage, you're nervous. Maybe the GM of the team is a Sakic, an Yzerman, someone you've looked up to, whoever it is. You get the jersey, you throw on the jersey, you're handed the hat. Do you fold the brim, put on the hat, and pose for your picture? Or do you leave the hat off and pose for the picture? I'd be curious, your thought, I'd be curious in the chat. When you do your pose for the picture, is it hat on or hat off?
I'm bald, so I always wear a hat. So, it's a great question, but the thing is you want, like, I'm going to go with team spirit, hat on. When you put that hat on, you're sitting here saying, look, I am a part of this organization. The name on the jersey is not, and I'm going to quote Herb Brooks for a minute, but the name on the jersey is not as important as the one on the front. You may be going as a number one, but you're about this team. And it's about the team. You're a part of a team. And that's what I love about hockey over every other sport, is the fact that you don't hear an interview that goes, I went out there and killed it tonight. I mean, I was on my game. Every time the puck came to me, I was shooting it. It was going top shelf. It went where I've never heard a hockey interview go like that. It's always like, hey, you scored 9 goals tonight. Well, the team played great. No. You had 9 goals tonight. Yeah, but if it wasn't for exceptional passing and my equipment guy making sure I had a I broke a stick, they had it to me in a second. The guys really supported me and were encouraged. That's a hockey interview. So to me, it's hat on. Show that camaraderie to the people that you're joining that locker room with, that you're one of them.
Absolutely. Yep, Dallas, you said it perfect. We, not me. And this is it. You see all the time. Guys will get up there, they'll take the hat and they'll kind of put it down, put it behind everyone for the picture. If you're getting drafted, and when you think about it, this picture you're about to take, this is now going in the history books. This is going to be on hockey cards, posters, media. It's going to be everywhere. So you want to put that jersey on, you want to put the hat on, you want to give it a nice little rounding. You can still have it show your face. You don't have to pull it down so it's sitting like this. You just kind of throw it up there and show your team support. And this is one thing I am really enjoy watching, to see which players do the hat or don't do the hat. And then a couple of years later, when their rookie contracts are coming up, make the correlation back to see if they get an extension or if they get traded. Did they have the hat on or did they have the hat off? Because it does. It shows that, hey, I'm all in. I'm putting the hat on. I'm with this. Or for those who leave it off, it's kind of saying, you know what? I'm a little bit of my own lone wolf. I kind of like to go against the grain and do things. And while it's a little thing, it actually speaks volumes amongst those in the community.
All right, so I gotta ask a rebuttal question. All right, and this is for the chat too. Let's be perfectly honest. Hockey players have beautiful hair. Some of them just don't want to mess up that long hairdo. It's at the back of the helmet. It's over to the side. The stylist made sure they look perfect to go up on stage. It's their moment in the sun. I'm going to say, look, I at least understand it. I totally disagree with it. But I understand, hey, look, but if you got this as your hair and you don't put the hat on, you don't like your team. Now, you have I'm trying to think of somebody like a Mika Zivanejad. That hair is halfway down his back. Like, this is a guy who's sitting there going, I don't want to mess up my hair. Totally kidding. Anyway. But yeah, we're going to be.
It's very true. It's very true. But to those guys that they're like, oh, it's perfect. It's sprayed. It's faded. It's cut. It's trimmed.
All right. My wife just brought up a good point. Not everybody has Ron Duguay's hair. This is the guy I'm thinking of. I'm sorry. When he went out on the ice, he's still, he's almost, Canadians don't throw stones. He's almost in that same category. If he was a little bit more eccentric, he would be like another, maybe a relation to Don Cherry. He's got the glitter jackets. He's got the hair. He says what he wants. He just got kicked out of MSG as royalty. He's not on the network anymore. Why? Because he opens his mouth too much, and he wears incredible clothes. He's impeccably tailored, but he's got Ron Duguay hair.
Yeah, you're making the gateway to a minimum of $800,000. If you're a decent player, you're starting now. You're raking in a couple $1 million. You can go back to the salon.
I don't disagree with you at all. Hey, there's your boy. He just topped the NHL news.
There he is. What is this? American Idol. Love it. Talking about someone who's having some hair issues. I don't know if you saw the picture of Matthews with his awards. I don't know if I still have it on my phone, but he is definitely feeling the stress to win in Toronto because his hairline is running faster than every player trying to get out of Arizona.
So here's the best part. If you look at the guy who wrote the article, his hair took off. It just ran away. I was like, no, I'm leaving.
Yeah, it is Matthews. Yikes. He's kind of getting that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's running for the border.
He's got my hairline. Look at that. I didn't realize I was related to Matthews.
There you go.
Who knew?
But you love how he's got the shirt kind of, what is that, 4 buttons popped open. He's got a gold chain under there. He's living life. He's got the dock shoes on with no socks. So is he
3/4 Italian and I just didn't know it? And it's the dad's name is Matthew. Like he looks like he's ready to go out perform a hit.
Yeah. He likes to party and he's got a whole lot of hardware that he can go party with.
I would probably agree with that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we covered pretty much what we're going to be doing for the draft. We kind of had to skirt over a bunch of stuff tonight. There was so much in hockey news. We could be on till midnight tonight. That's why we came on at 9.
It was absolutely insane. Every couple of minutes, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, oh, new story. There's so much going on. And this is what it's all about. And yeah, Bernie, absolutely. Keenan Thompson, stole the show. And I know we kind of joked about this when we went on in our abbreviated pre-show for the playoff game. Keenan Thompson, good to see Toronto finally winning something in June.
He was killing it. He was killing it. There's no doubt. The one thing we really didn't even talk about. Did you know the Avs won the Stanley Cup?
What? When did that happen?
We totally didn't even talk about this. We just went right into everything else. By the way, everybody, the Avs won the Stanley Cup. It was an amazing series, an amazing round. And just out of curiosity, did either one of us call it in 6?
I don't know. I know we both called them to win. I think I called 7 games. You may have called them in 6.
I said 5 or 7. I think I said
5 or 7
over 6 because I didn't believe they'd beat them in Tampa. And I just didn't see that happening. So I think we both missed on this one because I thought that they were going to wrap it up on home ice on game 5. And that didn't happen. And what's really weird about the series is they traded home losses and neither team had done that. So that was kind of cool. But let me ask you this. Merch-wise, what you see up on the screen, any of it like knocking you over? By the way, Steve, plug your ears.
You know what? I don't mind it. I like that they took that NHL playoff band, that logo, the main logo, and then colored it, in the purple and got the Avs logo in there. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. What's that? You don't love it?
I don't love it. I like the gray shirt. Okay, like that gray shirt, it's cool. I like that one. The burgundy shirt does absolutely nothing for me. Like, and by the way, I love the color burgundy, so I don't want anyone to be like, oh, there's 2 things missing. I'm going to tell you the 2 things right now, and you're going to go, oh yeah, what? Where is the black shirt with that predominant burgundy coming off of the blue that looks like the banners we kept putting up for the NHL Finals? That would have looked stunning. And then secondly, where's the ringer t-shirt? Give me one that's got the ringer. So give me if you want to go with the blue, give me the burgundy armband. Give me the burgundy with the blue. I don't care, but give me a ringer. These guys got great colors. The cup redesign for the logo this year would have been great. The gray hat isn't doing it for me because it doesn't look like the other gray. I'm not feeling it. The best part of the merch that I love out of it is the banner.
I'm so happy you said that because I was going to say I like the merch. The hat, same. I'm like the gray, that should have been a black cap. But the little pennant right there, that banner,
yes,
that is money. And the year that they stop producing championships pennants is the year that sports suffers because, man, I remember as a kid having all kinds of those pennants. Sometimes we put them up on the walls or put them kind of in the windows so people could see it. Man, that's like a lost merch piece. I love pennants so much.
So you see the burgundy shirt over here, and they give you, like a back on it and everything else. And because I went and I looked at all this, and I was going, I don't love this. Now, here's where I have a problem with the hat more than anything else, because I don't mean to pick on this, but I'm a merch guy. Look how small the Avalanche logo is. Why don't you make it smaller? Let's just take it off the hat. Like, I mean, really? Like 22 Stanley Cup champions. Itty bitty logo. Yeah. It should have been half of the front of the hat.
Yeah, have the logo, the predominant piece, Stanley Cup champions down below it. And again, on a black hat.
It just
I do like the trucker style. I do like that trucker style.
I don't have a problem with that. That looks good. The white shirt down here is a good looking shirt. This one's not bad. Okay, but it looks like a football shirt. Doesn't look like hockey. Okay, the back of it, obviously, you got the cup back here. But over here, that front of that shirt doesn't do it. I really like this Fanatics pack over to the left. You get the hat, you get the shirt, you get everything, you get the lanyard, you get the koozie, you get $120 seems a little excessive to me because he comes in a box, but whatever. And then look at these.
Oh, baby. Now I have to ask Ian or Josh, I don't know if you guys are still in the chat listening around. Did you guys buy any of this? And if so, what were the kind of hot items you had your eyes on? Or anyone, if you're in the if you're a Colorado Avs fan, if you purchased any of the merch, I'd be very curious what you guys and gals were into. Those socks are fierce. Those are savage.
I love the ones on the right and the left, and I'll tell you why. The ones in the middle, they screwed up. The cup should be up here.
Yeah,
Look,
I actually
on the shin.
I agree. I like the right or the left. With those ones, they should have not made those championship socks and just do the whole leg, the Stanley Cup.
They should have made.
How money would those be? Just pure Stanley Cup socks.
Totally with you. Now the hoodies, again, the black one in the middle, I like it up and down the sleeves. I really don't like the back of it. I think it looks. I don't like.
Looks like a biker shirt.
Yeah, it does nothing for me. The gray one, it's like, let's just slap something on. Now here's the best part: you get a logo on the front of the gray hoodie, $79. The other one has it up and down the sleeves, front and back, $10 more.
Yeah, Jonathan, that's awesome. By the way.
Speaking of lost merch, I found really, wow.
And crew, what's going on? Just for you.
I bought Mighty Ducks. Hey, crew, here's the perfect jersey for you. Here's a signed Colorado Avalanche jersey for $2,299. By the way, notice it's only signed on the front so that you can frame it. No numbers on the back, none on the sleeves. I wonder if it's customizable. Like, can you put...
Is it the full team?
I would assume so because it's a limited edition of 100. So they're selling 100 of these. Okay. The gray shirt, they finally give us the record, like of the series, yada yada. Okay,
that I like as a championship shirt. I like that.
I do,
but because I love concert T-shirts. When I was growing up, every concert I went to, I'd buy. So I love kind of the chart of the maps, whatever. But I'd like to see that, but broken down in each series. If they could somehow figure out to have their whole run. All the stats listed down there.
I'm going to tell you the two things that are missing, in my opinion. Nowadays, there's everything on a sleeve. Give me something on a sleeve somewhere and make that T-shirt. Remember I was saying about the ringer? That should be your ringer T-shirt. I would love that. Now, here is your Stanley Cup socks, but they put them too low. They put the Stanley Cup starting at the toes. Unless I'm wearing sandals with my socks, you're not seeing this. And especially these in the middle, what a waste. I guess I got to wear them around the house. They should have been slippers. But
yeah, and as a guy, I often will wear my socks with my slides when I'm going to grab the mail or something, a quick walkthrough. I would 100% wear those.
Now, we finally get a black hat with the gray in the front. We get a little bit of a bigger logo. We get champs, but you can't even read it. It says Stanley Cup. Like they just they messed that one up.
To me, I'm a big retro guy. I'd love to see that kind of black with the white cap with a Quebec Nordiques logo on it.
That's really
little throwback.
They should pay homage and throw it on the back. But this one was a woman's shirt, and I knew that when I saw it because you could see the scoop line here. It's a good looking shirt. Don't get me wrong. I like it. For a lady shirt, it's cut right. I like that. We do T-shirts, so I'm always paying attention to cuts. I like the way that the shirt is designed. I think that one. This is actually done right, in my opinion. The hat over here, you get the logo on the side for the 2022. You get that almost Wrigley Field style logo on the front of the hat. I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it. If somebody said, "Hey, go buy a piece of merch," that's probably the hat I'm buying. It's black, it's baseball cut, it's got that scoop brim, it's not the flat brim like what I'm wearing right now. And you can tell the team, the logo is the largest. I'm not sure I like that billboardy look, but so far.
Yeah, I love the little Stanley Cup on the side.
Yep.
That's money. I hate the front logo.
I'm not a fan.
Don't like
I feel
that.
Like I'm looking at Wrigley Field, but again, if I had to buy a hat, especially with it only being $23, that's probably the one I'm going with. You come down, obviously, look, they do hockey pucks every year. That puck is done right. It looks really good. Yep. Why they didn't put that on a shirt, I don't know. They missed. Could also go on a hat. This is done right. $10, great souvenir if you guys are looking for those. This one's a little weird to me. Like, I understand the box, the clear puck. I get it. Stands up.
How cool if they took that puck design and they made a T-shirt where the left side was the red, the right side was that blue with that logo in the middle.
It would be cool. Like that's the things we're looking for. Now down here, and I gotta say this, the ladies are killing it. This shirt over here is awesome. The one on the right, I love that shirt. Okay, you got the banded sleeves. It almost looks like a jersey. Now, ironically, it doesn't look like the Avalanche's jersey. I kind of find that funny. It looks like they were expecting the Lightning to win. But logo is really cool. The one on the left, ladies cut, same shirt as the men's. It looks better in the women's cut than it does in the men's. The men's I expect more. And it's not a shot at the women's shirt. It's just the women's usually have a nice classic design to them. But both of these shirts I like a lot. I really like that 3/4 sleeve a lot. And then, of course, you get the Stanley Cup in the middle, which is, what is it? It's filled with game-used ice.
That's always pretty cool. I mean, I know it's hokey when they do these little ice packs. So you're essentially getting a Stanley Cup full of water and a little certificate that says it was part of the ice. It's kind of a neat little gift. If you're a crazy diehard of that fan, that's something cool to have.
I got some of it right here. Who knew? Came out of the Rocky Mountains. I didn't know.
Yeah, I got mine from. It doesn't show through the screen.
That's awesome.
It's a green bottle, so I was going to say it's from Minnesota's run. But,
See, now here's a burgundy men's shirt. It's okay, but again, imagine if it had either the blue ringer or the white ringer. That would make that shirt pop. It would be a much better shirt. I'd like it a lot more. The plaques that they're showing so far, I haven't seen one that I would want. The team photo is decent, but these right here, this is $499 on the left.
Ooh.
Okay, now it's a shadow box with pucks. All right, so they're showing it really small. It's a bigger picture. I don't love it. And then you get a piece of the net in the middle one, and limited edition 500, $90. I'm not in on that one.
Wow. So I'm a big sucker for when they do that. As a hockey card guy, I love the hockey cards that have little swatches of the jersey in them. They even did little net cards where same thing. You had a little cross section of the net put in a hockey card. I love those. But as a box, like a picture to hang on your wall, that's a really, really small piece. That should be like, you want that as your kind of center of the artwork. And that's a lot for such a little swatch. But it's a great idea.
That's kind of my point, though. It's like you're only making 500 of them. All right. There's 2 nets sitting on the ice. And by the way, they have 2 in back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, to me, it took me a second to figure out where it was. I kept looking at the Stanley Cup. Then I was looking around. And I'm like, oh, it's that X in the middle. Got it. So, no, I'm not a huge fan. And then the pucks for $500. I have a problem with the pucks because they're not game pucks.
Yeah, like, that's crazy. If you paid attention to NHL.com over the course of the playoffs, they were auctioning off game pucks and warm-up pucks and ones with autographs and all this. Yeah. And they were a lot less than $500
because
that's crazy.
Here's literally, as you're talking about, $120. Here's Kel McCarr. Here's his, it's an autographed hockey puck. Is it real? It's probably a stamp, but I don't know. Now, $44.99 for this polo. That's a good looking shirt. Coach's polo. I like this. I don't think it's well done. It needs to have something on the sleeve like a Stanley Cup. It needs something because the logo is really small. It's hard to see it from a distance. I don't love the way that's done, but the coloration is done right. I would love to see something on the sleeves. It should have it. And then the long sleeve men's shirt, it's decent. It's not worth $45 for me. I think it's a $30 shirt, but
yeah, for sure. Anthony, what's going on? Welcome in. And Jen, you sure this isn't the type of merch you want to shop for?
That's funny. Mullerman, how are you, buddy? So we're finally getting down towards that pennant. Now, this blue shirt is money. Love this thing. All right. Yes. Nothing about this shirt I don't like. It's got something on the sleeve. It gave me that Stanley Cup logo. You can see the champions. I think it's a hockey shirt through and through. Gives the list of their cups on the back. I love the shirt. I'm in.
See, the only thing I don't like is when I look at it, the way the champions is kind of etched across there. My eyes, when I look at it, I'm expecting to see a New England Patriots logo right there
No
instead
doubt.
of the Avs
And
logo.
I don't disagree with that at all. The only good part is they at least made the Avalanche logo big enough so that I see the Avs, I see the champion. I'm good with that. And if I come up from behind, I can see that you got the 3 cups, you got the Avalanche. I like that shirt for that. And it's got Stanley Cup on the shoulder. So I like that too. The gray shirt next to it, I mean, you're talking about a $10 differential. Why would you not get the blue shirt? Like, the other one's just not worth $30 to me. It's a $20 t-shirt. Then we get to that pennant. That pennant is jamming, especially for $12. That's
it's so good. It has such a retro vibe to it as well.
Yes.
That's just awesome.
Yeah, this is done right. And then you start to get down into some of, the other things. Like here's a 129 piece of game used net again. They did it again. Another smaller box. Then you get the here's the memorable moments photo mint. Okay, so it's all of them holding the cup over their head, team photo in the middle. $200. I can take screenshots and I'll make it for you for half that. Give me a call.
Okay.
Won't be licensed by the league, by the way. The Colorado Avalanche, I'm going to call it basically it's a warm-up shirt. There's nothing about the cups on it. There's a throwback to there's your Nordiques.
Love it.
So I like that shirt. It's just weird to see it on a Stanley Cup champion page, but I like the shirt nonetheless.
You know what else I miss? Remember when everyone was releasing the property of shirts?
Yes.
The property of Colorado Avalanche.
Yes.
I miss those shirts. Those were great. Property of 2022 Stanley Cup champions Colorado Avalanche. Like that would be a nice shirt.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get one. Oh, nope. Just kidding. I really like what is essentially this is basically a Spear jersey. That Stanley Cup, 3 colors. Now, the only problem I have is the third color is the wrong color. Should be blue.
Yeah.
Just saying.
They were so hesitant to do things in black for the other pieces, and all of a sudden they throw it in here. It's kind of weird.
Well, and it's only because I think that, I'm not even going to throw that out there. I don't know why. And you know what? I still like it, though. I think it's cool looking. Would much rather it be my team colors. That might make a difference to me. Jen saying property of merch is cool, too. Here's the men's, it's a basic. I mean, and it's basic. And for them to go $85 for that hoodie in the middle. Really?
That's crazy. I got to stop you for 1 second. Bernie, I have it on next to me, and I haven't been watching. Tell me that's Liv Morgan. You can confirm that she's the new champ. I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan, so that would be money.
For those of you who don't know,
Sorry.
Sam is also watching WWE while he's sitting here doing. So talk about multitasking. Sam's doing that while I'm doing this. We're all having a good time. So he's only got to look over from time to time so I could do merch. The white shirt for the ladies, I think is awesome. I'd love to see it in the men's version. I think that shirt is amazing. I would like to see the Avs logo a little bit bigger, but that's about it. And
yeah, I love that women's shirt in white. That's money.
I love it.
That's a spectacular shirt.
Yeah, love that shirt. Then you come down here and you get the women's hoodie. It's a little low cut right here in the center. Logo again, $80 I think is outrageous. Team photo in the middle. Everybody signed it. $70, whatever. I guess that's all right. That's not horrible.
That looks like a pretty deep hood too. The way they have those pictures, looks like it's pretty thick and a deep hood.
Well, it looks like you're the ghost of Christmas present, but I digress.
Too bad they don't have a close up of the dented Stanley Cup going into the picture.
Right? That'd be great. So then there's a Makar signed jersey with the Conn Smythe patch as well. That's $500. Let's see, what are we doing for $149? Game use ice in the photo, so that's tap water. You get the flag for $42. The flag's decent. It's not spectacular. I think that they could have gone way bigger with the Stanley Cup logo. McKinnon, $5.19, same thing. Now, coming down here, I really like this women's Colorado long sleeve, the lace-up Spirit jersey over here. This thing's phenomenal. Colors are done right. It's done right. Love it. The gray shirt, I can't figure it out, but I like it. Still doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't
so
like
what all is in that? What's in that Fanatics pack? Sorry to jump ahead.
No, you're good. So the Fanatics,
they got the hat in there. That's iffy. The pennant.
You get 2 koozies. It looks like the lanyard. Let's click on it. What are we getting for this? So you got 2 koozies, a lanyard, the hat, the pennant, and the flag.
Interesting. A little on the pricey side. It would have been nice if they would have had one of the cheap T-shirts in there to round it out.
I agree.
It's a nice package.
There should be a T-shirt in there. Charge me $89, and it's worth the T-shirt too. So, yeah. I'm in on that too. Please don't start me back at the top of the page. Thank you. The gray shirt in the middle. I don't like this upturn in the Stanley Cup font where it goes up and it looks like it's smiling at you. I just don't like that. Whoa, nope. We got the same black hat. Not loving that. Love this middle. This little quarter zip up. I like this a lot. Again, think the logo's too small, but I love it.
That's good. Does it come with the chest to fill it out, though?
I always come with a chest to fill it out.
I love they got the biceps on
right?
The way they fluff that out. Holy moly.
But they need to put something on the arms to make it worth it. And then, speaking of, never mind. I'm not going to say that. So I like the ladies' tank top. I'm going to get in trouble on that one. That one's done right. I don't like the fact that the Stanley Cup is in a black outline behind it. But other than that, I like that shirt. I think that that's a good looking shirt. $39, probably a little bit over.
That's one. You have a lot of empty space on the back. I love the Avs logo and the circle on the front. Why not put a huge Stanley Cup down the spine on the back?
Which would have looked amazing. So I couldn't agree more with that one. Let's see. We got a navy blue Found a Way shirt. Not bad. Don't love it. It's not bad, but the Stanley Cup is highlighted. It does, and the Champions is so small it was like an afterthought. The black shirt, favorite by far. The weirdest thing is the all-seeing eye above it. I don't know that I'm like down with the Illuminati symbol, but whatever. But I like down the sleeves. I like it on the back. I don't like this curved thing that they're doing, but whatever. But the all-seeing eye is a little weird. I like the shirt. Wish it had a huge Avalanche logo on the front. Burgundy shirts, women's. It's a cutoff shirt, I think. It's a crop tee. It's okay. It's hard to read. We're moving on. Let's see. The coins.
That one in the middle looks sharp.
I like both of them. I would much rather the men's shirt have that band too. The women have gotten this banded shirt twice. I think if you're not going to give us the bands, give us white ringers. Although white ringers get dirty quick. But
if the band was just a little thinner, it's a little thick on such a short sleeve. If it was a little thinner, I think it would be good. But it's a nice touch, and I like the style of that shirt.
I like it a lot, and I think it's what's missing from the men's shirt too. And you're talking about a $2 differential. I think that they could have put it on the men's shirt as well. Now, this one overall, all the way to the right, I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't read it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Not a fan. Obviously, signed jerseys. More of the gray shirt. The blue shirt's phenomenal. It's not the best. It's not the worst. I like it. It gives you your breakdown, I think. Let's look at this one because I think it gave you what you were asking for. I don't like the 2022 on the front. Should have been in white.
Yeah.
But you're getting this has your forwards, your defense, and your goalie.
That's pretty cool, too.
I like it. It's a roster shirt.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
money because the way teams change, having that roster, you always know. Because we could look back. I went crazy with Toronto Raptors merch when they won the NBA title. But having that roster lowdown, you will always know 20 years from now. You're like, oh, remember the last time the Avs won? Who was on the team? It's all right there. That's a great piece.
Love a roster shirt. I'd like to say I like it like this. I'd like to see it in two forms. I'm a big ringer tee. I'd like to see this one in a ringer. I think it would be sharp. The gray one all the way over to the side where you can put any name on it, number. I like that shirt a lot. I like the fact it's got the cup at the top. I like this shirt, Champs, Colorado Avalanche. That shirt looks like a hockey shirt. Almost looks like your property of shirt.
Yep.
I like that shirt. Another puck. We got the faded red hoodie, $74. It's not bad. The white long sleeve looks like a football shirt. Hands down, looks like a football Super Bowl champion shirt. But I happen to like it. I like the patches down the arm.
Were they sitting around a boardroom table throwing out merch ideas and they said, hey, we can't decide, so let's just throw everything out? I've never seen so many design ideas for a championship team.
No, it used to be 3. But
Yeah.
I like the arms. I like how they have the Avalanche logo, then the Stanley Cup, then the 3, then the the year of the team. I like all those things. That's pretty cool, and it's only $42, so it's not a bad price point. Here's the autographed Colorado Avalanche puck. Then again, you have what is this? Another framed merch. Another framed merch. Oh my God, there's so much merch. More frame stuff, more pucks. Oh, we finally can buy a 25-inch replica team Stanley Cup.
See, that's cool.
I like that, but for $400, I think it's nuts.
That's not cool.
$400 a little bit much. If this thing was $99 for 2 feet tall, I might go $149. But much more than that.
If the Maple Leafs, when they do win the cup, they're going to have whoever their beer company is at that time. Every 2-4 is going to come with a little mini Stanley Cup with the Leafs logo on it. It's not going to be $400.
Game 7, like every Leafs fan is going to be holding up a keg, and that's how it's going to be. It's going to be like, oh, here it is. I think we're finally towards. Yeah. Oh my God, there's 5 pages. I'm not doing this all night. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Hold on. We're going to have to skim through just as a good laugh. We're going to skip to the last page in a second. The red one is a train wreck. The puck is horrible in the middle. It's just going downhill now. Toddler Colorado Avalanche. So that we have toddler shirts.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So page 5, we're just going to skip to the last page because this is just going to be too funny. Now, if I scroll down to the bottom and there's like 15 more pages, I quit. There's more pages. It says it right here. There's number 7.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, there's 7 pages. There's pants.
Look at this. Wow, capri sweatpants? Unbelievable.
I gotta
That's
say,
a pretty dope jacket, though.
Jacket.
Yeah.
The jacket's cool. More socks.
I can't believe I just said it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I let that go. But I only let it go once. Then you got phone holders. You got license plate brackets. Dude, they got gnomes. Come on, what does that have to do with champions? You're just trying to sell me crap now. More pants.
Is this the NHL merch page, or is this the promo trinkets? Hey, sign up and put your logo here website? It's crazy.
I just saw one that said FPEN Sports. All right, so here's the baby onesie. This is when you know you're really hurting. Here's a
Patrick Waugh picture.
Dude, there's a headband
for baby.
Look at this. This is a Stanley Cup headband. I guess it's for skiing because it's in Colorado.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh my goodness. Oh, dude, I'm dying right now. Oh, there you go. Colorado Avalanche team trading card set.
There you go.
We finally got Sam's attention. Look at this, dude. This is nuts. They've got freaking
flip-flops.
They got flip-flops, another headband, a two-tone shirt, cups, koozies, hats. Hey, here's the moral of the story, people. If you want to buy a bunch of crap and you're an Avalanche fan, they got what you need. They got anything you could possibly want. Oh my God. Dude,
They got everything but a reusable Tim Hortons cup.
Dude, seriously, what I was trying to do was highlight. I was expecting to see like 20 pieces of merch. I figured we would have been done with this in like 10 minutes. I did not mean for that to drag on. I almost feel like I just put everybody to sleep. I am so sorry, everyone. It just got to a place where I was like, it's got to end sometime. No, 7 pages, 798 pieces of merch later, they were still going. We're not. If you want to check it out, go to NHL or shopnhl.com. Go check that out. I'm not promoting them. Don't care. Good Lord, dude. Can you imagine?
If I'm a fan and I want to go buy a piece of merch, I don't want to scroll through 7 pages to see every design, what I may want to. Come up again with your 3-4 items. And if you want to have a slight variant, like your 2 pages of stuff. That's it.
This is the difference between men and women. Okay, men, give me like 4 items. I'll buy all 4 of them. I'll have a shirt. I'll have a sweatshirt, a pennant on the wall, and give me something for the car. Okay, we're good. Right. My wife would be sitting there going, "Well, we could get drapes. How about it's like
shower curtain?
Yeah, like." No, do they have a wall mural that we missed? Anyway, geez. So let's see. We're going to be back on Thursday, right?
Thursday night, 7:00.
Thursday night, 7:00. Are we going to do even strength after that on Saturday?
That's a good question.
We'll have to talk about that. But for the moment, because we don't probably need to have this discussion in front of all of you, we're going to be back Thursday night, 7:00 to do the draft, obviously. Let's just go over a couple of quick things while you guys are sitting here. We have some great partner channels, both with Pete McDevitt Show. Our partner channels are sitting on screen right now. So it's myself and Sam, who's, wow, it's magic. He's drinking out of a magic bottle, everybody. But make sure you're checking out Pete. He's got a new channel. Check him out for that. We will also be on the Pete McDevitt Show tomorrow. So if you're looking for FPE, we will be there with Pete tomorrow on Off the Wall. Be myself and Jen as he asks us the most embarrassing questions known to man. I'm not easily embarrassed, so let's see how far I can push that conversation before Pete turns off my mic. Other than that, let's see. We have our giveaway that everybody knows about. It's the 5-day cruise. If you don't know about it, head over to our IG. It's Florida Park Explorers or FL Park Explorers. You can go to Cloud9 Getaways. You can go to any one of us. You can go to our YouTube pages. You can go anywhere. Make sure that you get signed up for it. We're giving it away on July 14th. We've already hit the threshold, so we are officially giving it away. That announcement is official. One last partner channel. There's our good friends, Chris from Ear to Hear Magic, our other partner channel. Make sure that if you want daytime park streams, Chris is the place to go. Nighttime, you can always tune in for Florida Park Explorers. Got to play this because this is our boy. He made this just for this show. Guys, make sure you're going over to Sam. Do what you're doing. The two of us are going to be streaming together from now on when it comes to even strength. So make sure that you are subscribed to both of us. You won't miss a moment of any of our shenanigans because we like shenanigans. I even like to eat there from time to time. What about you?
Yeah, it's good. I quite enjoy a whole lot of shenanigans myself. And man, this is so much fun. Week over week. BearShark, we just have the best time. You guys are awesome. And again, if you haven't checked them out in the parks, can I totally go off book and give a huge shout out to Explorer Jen, who absolutely killed it last night in the Kingdom of Magic. Was that last night? Pretty sure it was last night. We had it up on our big screen here watching the fireworks and everything after. So awesome job.
I know that she's downstairs. I can hear her. She's probably crying. So thank you for that. Yeah, look, we love what we do. We love being in the parks every day. My wife is an amazing live streamer. If you guys want to go through the parks, soon I'll be back. My foot's healed, so I'll be back in doing it. But you guys don't want me. You want Jen, and we all know it. Why listen to Dave when you can have Jen? But we're going to be back in the park soon. I mean, Jen will be back in. I know the family will be in on July 4th. We are doing Magic Kingdom fireworks live on FPE. So make sure if you're not subscribed, you want to see Disney World fireworks on Monday night, make sure that you tune in. We're going to have a 6-hour live stream, I'm sure. And it's going to have fireworks. We're going to go on rides. We're going to go nuts. We're going to have an absolute blast. So make sure you come hang out with us because we're going to have a really good time. So, but thanks for that shout out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. And we have World Juniors coming up in August. Those are scheduled on the channel. So if you haven't already, go in and hit the like. Go hit the like and hit the reminder. That's coming up. We have the 4 Canadian round robin games. Those are currently scheduled. It's going to be awesome. So
Sam's got a bunch of stuff coming up. Don't let him kid you. He's always so modest. It's ridiculous. We're going to get through the draft. We'll let you guys know about some other things that we got coming up. Evenstrength is going to continue, even though the season's over. We're going to do some crazy things like he doesn't even know about yet that I want to do. I definitely want to talk about hockey movies, which I'm sure all of you will get in. We'll also be able to start throwing in our favorite movie lines from hockey. There's so many hockey movies out there. Plus, there's going to be open free agency. There's the draft. There's what's coming after. We're getting geared up for the juniors. Then we're going to be gearing up for Traverse City into the playoffs. It sounds like a long time, folks. It's only 2 months. But in that time frame, we're going to fill in your hockey need. If you know anybody who's got to fill that void, tell them to come over, hang out with us. We'll do the best that we possibly can, and we'll kind of go from there. So anything else you want to leave us with there, pup?
No, so we have 2 surprise streams that are coming up any day now. So make sure your notification bells are hit. What we'll do, if you guys have watched any of our Maple Leaf streams, you might know the guy who should have won Rookie of the Year, Michael Bunting. We like to call him Bunt Cake on our channel because it's all about food. We're actually going to do a live stream of a chocolate banana bunt cake bake. So that's going to be fun. We're going to Instagram. We're going to DM Michael Bunting. We're going to let him know we're doing it. We're going to drop the link. It's going to be a riot. I've never baked a thing in my life, so that's going to be fun.
Hey,
and then we're going to go for a nature walk and stream that out in the forest. So that's going to be fun too.
Let's turn off Sam's thing. Anybody who wants to go in as Michael Bunting, let me know. Shh, don't tell Sam. Guys, tune in for that. It sounds like it's going to be epic. If Sam has never produced an item a day in his life, this is going to be worth a watch. Get over there, watch him when he's doing this. And if you guys have no idea, if you've ever seen the show Airwolf, he actually is about 15 feet away from where they shot it. He sent me a picture today. It is absolutely beautiful up there. I have the Magic Kingdom in my backyard, and I was jealous. So it is absolutely beautiful where he's up there. Make sure you're supporting content creators, not just with certain other things. You never know. Expand your horizons. Come watch us. Come hang out. It's not just about what we put out, but about us as content creators too sometimes. So come enjoy us. Have some fun. Hang out with Sam. FP will be back on Monday, back in the park. Tomorrow we're with Pete McDevitt over on the Pete McDevitt show on his main channel. So make sure you come over and hang out with us and enjoy it. And again, if you have not signed up for this, now I made it full screen. What are you thinking? You're going to win a cruise, hotel, and airfare sponsored by this guy right here. Oops, I didn't change out that thumbnail. That one says cruising, not cruising. David doesn't know how to spell, but I got it right on the other one. I just forgot to swap them out. So I think that does it, doesn't it?
I think that's a wrap. Draft coming up. Can't wait.
Draft coming up. All right, so Thursday night, come join us, 7 p.m., special presentation of the NHL Draft as we will take you through it one step at a time, one draft pick at a time. We're going to have guests coming in. We're going to do all kinds of crazy stuff. It'll be a lot of fun as we do what we do. So with that, he is the natural. Samwelb12 Experience. I have been called other things, but tonight we'll call me the BearShark. And with that, it's been a lot of fun, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us for almost 2 hours. We don't normally go for this long, but there was a lot to unbox, including all the unboxing of merch. It was insane. Until next week, everybody, Thursday, we will see you guys. Happy 4th of July if you live on this side of the border. If you're on the other side of the border, happy Canada Day, one day late. Lots of fireworks for both of us, lots of joy, lots of happiness. We hope that you're spending it with somebody that you care about, and we hope that you have a truly, truly wonderful night. Take care, everybody.